Hey everybody, Kennis Russell here. I hope you're doing great. Today I've got a video for you on 5 reasons the Squier is better than the Fender. So get your comment fingers ready because we're about to get going. All right, for clarification's sake, and I'm only doing this because previous videos in this 5 reasons series have gotten some major hate, which is fine, but I think it's hysterical. I'm not saying that the Squier is better than the Fender. I'm giving 5 reasons, specific reasons, that a Squier may be better than the Fender, or reasons that are benefits, however you want to put it in your words, of why this might have its advantages over the Fender. Okay, so I'm not saying that the Squier is better, so please just let that be clear. Anyway, moving forward, here I have, this is an Affinity Squier Telecaster. This is an American Telecaster. Beautiful guitar. This is my friend Chris's guitar. He let me borrow it for this video. So here's the 5 reasons. The first thing is obviously the cost. I picked up this guitar at a pawn shop for $79, and I picked up this one, my friend, I have no idea what he paid for it, but I just looked up on eBay, and a comparable guitar is going to go for about $750 plus shipping, maybe $800. That was the cheapest one that I found. It was similar to this one. So really, you're looking at about a 10 times the price for the American as opposed to the Squier. So the cost is a big benefit. Now, for someone like me, this is my only Telecaster I've ever bought, and I bought it because I wanted to see if I liked a Telecaster. So I was at the pawn shop. This thing was pretty cheap, liked the way it played, and so I played it. And actually, I really do like Telecasters now. But I wasn't going to go drop, $1,000 or more on a new one. I wasn't going to buy a used one on Craigslist for a lot of money if I didn't know I liked it. So this was a perfect purchase for me. And someday I may go buy one of these. But the first thing is cost. That is a big factor, big benefit for the Squier is the cost. The Squier is easier to mod. Now you might be thinking, well, how is that even possible? They're basically the same guitar. You could just buy parts for a Squier, you could buy parts for a Fender. It's not exactly true. Fender does things with their Americans that are a little bit different to make it harder to mod, or at least you have to buy their parts to fit it. So for example, if you go on Amazon and you buy a pick guard, for instance, you just buy like a generic, Stratocaster pick guard, and you try to put it on an American guitar, it's not going to work, or at least it's not going to work without you drilling new holes. The holes just don't line up. So with a Squier, it's like the aftermarket parts fit the Squiers better a lot of times than they do the Americans. It's not always the case, but it's easier to mod sometimes. Sometimes there's little details that they make for the import versions of guitars as opposed to the American versions of them. Also, Fender does certain things like these are not offset saddles, but a lot of times there'll be offset saddles on a Telecaster or a Stratocaster, and very rarely are you going to find offset saddles on a Squier. So pretty much, if you went and you said, I'm going to go upgrade the saddles for these, I'm going to go on Amazon or eBay and buy new saddles, you're probably not going to have any problem with that. Whereas an American, you might have a little bit of an issue. Another thing, even like the nuts, the nut is more common just with the spacing for the Squier than it is with the American. They're just a little bit easier to mod. Plus, when you're modding something that is worth a lot more money, you're going to be a lot more concerned with this than you are a Squier. So they're easier to mod in the sense that if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. Reason number 3, more options. Believe it or not, you can actually get Squiers in more colors than you can the American versions of them. I was looking on the Squier website and also the Fender website. The most color options of any particular guitar, any particular model or series of the Squier was 8 different colors. Did the same exact thing for the American, and the most color options that a particular series offered was 5. So there's more options as far as colors, as far as looks. It's like they try to make these the Americans just kind of standard. They're their own their own look. They don't want to change it too much and get outside the box, whereas they don't have a problem doing that as much with the Squiers. Plus, there's a ton more series of Squiers than there is for the American versions. There's the Bullet series, the Affinity series, the Vintage Modified, the Deluxe series, Classic Vibe series, the Standard series, the Artist series. There's just more series of these, like different options, different types of pickups, different looks that it has. You're gonna be able to have more options on the Squiers if you're looking at buying a Squier guitar as opposed to the American version. Now, there's quite a few series of Americans as well, but there's not as many, I don't think, as the Squier versions, which is not to say that the Squier versions are better necessarily. It's just saying there's more options when you're purchasing a Squier. Now, the fourth reason is something that you probably would not notice, but Squiers are actually lighter, generally speaking, than American guitars. The reason is, if you were to pull these two side by side, the Squier is thinner than the American is. It's about a 1/4 inch, maybe even a little less than a 1/4 inch, just thinner, just the thickness of the wood, thickness of the body. This is for Stratocasters. This is also for Telecasters. I'm assuming it's the same for basses. For someone like me that I'm standing and playing a lot, having a lighter guitar is really nice. Like those few ounces, even if it's like 8 ounces, a half a pound, that adds up after you've been standing for a long time. So the advantage of the Squier is they are a little bit lighter than the American version, than the Fender version. And finally, number 5, the 5th reason that a Squier is better than a Fender is that I don't care as much about this guitar as I would this guitar. You know, this guitar here, I picked it up and it's got some dings here on the side. It's got like some scratches and scuffs. There's a bunch of buckle rash here on the back. Somebody scratched it up. Bought this used. You know, the thing is, if right now I were to drop this guitar and have a big gash in it, I'm not going to go home crying. If I did that with this guitar, I would have a difficult phone conversation with my friend because he would be really mad at me for dinging up his guitar. But the thing is, sometimes it's nice to have a guitar that you can just it's a beater guitar. You can beat around with it. You can keep it next to your bed and you don't have to put it in its case every time you play it. You can just have it sitting on a stand. If the kids knock it over, if the kids scratch it or something like that, it's no big deal. It's a decent playing guitar that I don't care about it as much. So that's the 5th reason. And for some people that may not be a reason at all. For me, it is. I like to have some guitars that are they're more or less beater guitars. And so those are my 5 reasons why I think that the Squier can be a better, have its advantages over the Fender version. So anyway, let me know what you think in the comment sections below. I'm sure I have sparked some controversy within you. I want to hear what you have to say about it though. Do you think that there are any advantages to having a Squier as opposed to a Fender? I don't know. Maybe I'm completely wrong. You let me know about it. If you like this video, please hit the thumbs up, subscribe to my YouTube channel, and I'll see you in another video.